National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard is revoking 37 security clearances for intelligence officials. Several of these officials had ties to former President Biden, and Gabbard says some of the officials were also involved in the investigation of Russia's influencing in the 2016 election. Now, Gabbard says the move is coming at the direction of President Trump. She posted on X saying having a security clearance is a privilege. Someone who betrays their oath to the Constitution betrays that trust. That those choosing their own self-interest over the public undermines the security and safety of Americans.
Now, this, of course, is garnering criticism from national security officials. They say she's accusing those getting clearances revoked of politicizing or leaking intelligence without any evidence. Mark Zaid, a national security attorney representing clients who have had clearance revoked while also having his own clearance stripped, posting this on X, calling this move a Privacy Act violation, that this is weaponization and a political move.
It's not all disdain coming from the national security community. Retired General Michael Flynn says more should be done, posting on X that companies holding security clearances should be investigated as well.
Look, I don't think that you want security officials leaking information. So obviously part of what she's saying would be problematic to me. But I also feel like you're acting blind if you're going to turn the eye and pretend like this is not politicizing anybody who's ever had any access to Biden, worked on anything under the Biden administration. And the reason why this doesn't really make sense to me is because these people in these positions have served under multiple terms. And so they're not supposed to be politically aligned with anybody specific.
They're not supposed to be.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be. So I'm happy to get rid of anybody who is doing things egregious, like leaking information, causing lack of trust within our government institutions. I'm happy to always get those people out of those positions because we want to protect America first. But I do think that it's important to make sure that because under the direction of Trump, that he targets anybody who he considers a political enemy. And so he's over politicizing places that shouldn't be. And you should allow people to do their jobs. People looking into things and following through with orders under one administration or the next is actually just performing a duty you're asked to do. So now losing your job without any real information of data that's been leaked, because that's what's lacking here. Well, there's no real information of explain why these people why their clearances are being revoked. Give a detailed list to the public.
Why should they, couldn't it be a security issue to just have a permanent class of bureaucrats or former staffers, from both parties, fine, who just get access to intelligence briefings, and this list is not, trimmed from time to time? And doesn't the president get to come in and say, okay, I got voted in, I'm revoking it for all the, why are you, when you don't have a government job, you're a pundit basically now who still has access to this thing, you're not in government service anymore? That doesn't make sense to me. Why does it just go on forever? Well, doesn't the president get to say, yeah, you're done, you're turned off?
But I don't like you, you were done. It shouldn't be a popularity contest. It should be people that have access to information because they are in the position and authority to access that information. And I think when you start to just think about President Trump and just looking at how he's behaved over the last two presidencies now, the last one, this one, he's very much,
I delete you from my mailing, whoever gets my mailing list. Maybe that's hurtful, but there's not some right to be on it.
It always is a larger conversation about why are we doing these things, and kind of
he's doing them because they're saying these people were involved in Russiagate,
but they're not providing any proof.
They were getting.
They're not providing proof.
Well, they have. They provided lots of proof that ex-intelligence officials
all 37 people
of convincing the media that
in this instance they're not providing 37 examples of why 37 people are getting their clearances revoked. That's what I would like to see. I'm happy to get rid of any corruption within any agency of our government, right? I think everybody's on the same page. But it's just but they haven't provided it. And when you make something so public like Tulsi Gabbard has been doing lately and often, you need to provide details and facts behind your decisions.
I'm going to give you a headline. 50 current and former intelligence officials say Hunter Biden laptop is Russian disinfo. That's a headline from Politico about the letter sent from the Intelligence Committee signed by 50 different people that we've looked at this, and based on our expertise and the information we have access to, we think this very well could be a Russian disinformation plot. And that was false. It turned out they were wrong. It was genuine. The laptop was real. Russia didn't manufacture it. They were leveraging their expertise and their continued access to intelligence documents to engage in what amounted to be partisan political activity. That Joe Biden himself cited their letter when he was on the debate stage with Trump, said, well, look, you don't have to take it from me. Look at what the nonpartisan objective intelligence committee, people who serve in both administrations, look at what they've said. Look at them.
So these 37 people specifically were part of that exact scheme.
I'm saying
is what you're saying.
Why people can't just have access to intelligence forever and then continue to act in partisan political ways.
Right. I agree with that. I want to get rid of the partisan ways out of there. I think that we could definitely have looked into Biden much more. These are all past errors. We're in current day. And so if we continue this back and forth.
Cut off.
I know, but what happens in the future?
They're not putting them in jail.
What happens in the future? We just keep doing this. So anybody who's ever worked around President Trump, we get rid of them. We constantly just start cleaning house every time. Like, it's just
I don't
petty
doubt
back and
Democrats
forth.
will do that.
But it's this petty back and forth that I don't acknowledge or like on either side. It's not something that I think we should run our government by. Are people doing their job? Are they following through? Like, did we look into how Russia
then this is a philosophical difference. I think if the Democrats win the next election and they come to office, yeah, they get to review who gets intelligence briefings and give it to more Democrats and to fewer Trump people. I think they will obviously do that, but
they should provide information about why they're just like, there's been lots of money taken out from RFK. There's out of research. There's been lots of people fired under President Trump. With there's like, what is the reason that you're firing people that are apolitical? I know, but
they're not apolitical.
Some people are supposed to be in positions that are apolitical. And what I would like to do, what my biggest goal would be for the country, is to restore faith in places all over our government that people have lost faith in. That's the goal. And so part of it might be cleaning house with some of those people, but other part of it is stop continuing the partisan politics where you're just getting rid of people because of their adjacent proximity to a former president. Really, because that doesn't mean that they
justified. It's justified. I don't want to restore that faith because that was a mistake.
So we should have no institutions then. We should just get rid of this background behind it.
The institution we have is for better or worse democracy. A team, a political party runs on a platform, and if they get more votes than the other team, they put their people in key government positions and run the government as they see fit. And if we don't like it, we vote them out of office, and the next people do it. It is weirder, I think, to say no. There's going to be a permanent bureaucracy of government employees who continue to operate according to their own agenda that's have very little political oversight. So even though you change the presidency and the lawmakers, you don't actually change the operations of the government. Isn't that more bizarre?
No, I think the more bizarre part is that anybody who had a criticism or has ever challenged President Trump, which should be okay, especially looking at people like Marjorie Taylor Greene who have no problem aligning with him on most things but challenging him on some things, then we should not just say, oh, off with their heads, or they need to go, or they have no access. Mm-hmm. That is not how we want our government to perform. We do not live under a king, right? We are not in any type of reign. So I think that needs to be looked at. And whenever you have people getting let go or denied access that are supposed to be apolitical, keyword on supposed, because President Trump might be on his retribution campaign where he wants to get people back, retaliation campaign, well then that to me should be looked at and reviewed to make sure that this is not just some political theater act that just gets him where he wants to be, which is only have yes men around him.
I think it's very hard to separate political and apolitical. I think it's all political. And people who say they're apolitical can still have an agenda.
It's not people. Whole agencies should be apolitical. People can stand wherever they want when they go in the poll, but their job is not supposed to be politically tied to
magic fairy wings and be able to
No, this is not an esoteric theory. This is a real thing.
Next up, Newsmax and Dominion have reached a hefty segment. More on that next. Don't go anywhere.